gang, Stovepipe back with number 5. We're going to wrap this thing up. So what I wanted to do was just recap a little bit. You know what the 1-4-5 is, right? 1-4-5. If it's in A, it's A-D-E. If it's in E, it's E-A-B. That's good to know because of your L shape. Like in A, your 1's here, your 4's right here, your 5 is right here. So it's movable up and down the neck. So someone says, hey, let's play an E, drop the 1-4-5 down here. If it's in C, move it up. It's that 1 and 5 is really as much chord as you need for a lot of songs. So with the 12-bar blues progression, we've talked about that. I'll put the graphic back up there again. Now remember that on the progression, there are two different styles. One in E, I'm going to do it in E right here, and I'll do a close-up on this too. Standard 12-bar progression in E goes like this. The quick change will look like this. In the second bar, what I'm going to do is drop down to the 4 and then come right back. Then the last measure, you can either play a turnaround like I just did, or you can jump up to the 5, a little flourish on the end, or you can just stay on the 1. Okay? Quick change in E. I'll show you that right now. Right, quick change, and back. So the only difference is, second is you'll go over to the 4, and then if you want to, you can put that 5 on the tail end. All right, but follow that graphic at the bottom. Now, same thing in A. If you do the non-quick change, again, this is the power chord. I'm covering the 1 and I'm covering the 5. If you guys remember that, and all I'm going to do is drop my pinky up and down. Now, the reason I don't have to do that up here is your nut is essentially acting like a finger. See, if I had that here, I would have, and I'd be doing it like this. But since that's acting as one of my fingers, I'm going to just refinger like I just did. Drop this down. Now, when you play up the neck, like in this case A, I'm going to cover the root, or 1, and I'm going to cover the 5. Then my pinky's going to go up and down, 2 and 2. Ready? This is a straight no quick change. Okay, now here's the one with the quick change. Remember, second bar, I'm going to drop down the 4 and come back. Totally movable. You can play it in C, D. You can play it in E up here, actually, instead of E down here if you want to. Yeah. Okay? So that power chord shape, the root 5 is absolutely movable, and it's the basis of the shuffle rhythm. So I want to talk, recap a little bit about the pentatonic scale. In this case, A, and it's absolutely movable anywhere on the neck. Pentatonic scale in A. It's also called the blues scale because I've added a couple of notes in there. The pentatonic scale again. Practice that to death. The blues scale in A, again, this is movable. essentially you've got a finger for each fret. See how they fit right in there? Okay. The Albert King box. See where my pinky is? It's covered. Move your index finger down to the these two strings. And again, if A is here, see how your fingers line up? Come right down here where your pinky was and cover basically the house shape. This note, come to the center. This note, that note. So in A, it sounds like this. Doesn't sound like much that way. Albert King made a career out of. Okay, so remember those notes. That little house shape, visually, it looks just like a little house. Basically, it comes up, goes to the center, over, and down. And so it looks. But its relationship, if your blues scale is here, see where my pinky is right here? Move your index finger, cover the two notes right there, and that's where the house shape is, little box. There's not a bad note in there, every note. And then you can always slide back into your pentatonic blues scale. See, now I'm back in the blues box. See, I can slide into it. Back. So marry those two together and get very, very comfortable with your blues box here and your Albert King box right here. And you just play the dog snot out of it. Okay, soloing over changes. We talked about that when you're in A and you're on the one. Be thinking about where your roots are. Have a root there, have a root here, and have a root here. So in its basic sense, soloing, you don't have to do this, but if you're beginning, always try to find the root and start out on it. Like say if you're in the one, then try to just start on the one and everything will sound like it's in. See? Okay, I'm starting on the one. Now I could also start here. Got my other one. I could also start here. So you see everything's sounding in instead of out. So when it goes to when it's on the 4, basically I'm covering index finger, the same as power chord. Root 5, slide that down a fret. So then you could also come up here as well, and I'm just relying on you to look at where my fingers are. I'm not going to waste a bunch of time explaining what fret and that sort of thing, but I'm on the 4. Come right here, bend the hell out of this. It's a good note. And then when it goes back to 1, just stay in that scale, just find the notes, and everything will work out great. The other thing you can do is on the 1, go down to the Albert King box. It goes to the 4. No bad notes in there at all. Then when it goes to the 5, you can do the Stevie thing. You could also walk down. You could arpeggiate the 5 when you go to the 5. And all those notes are in because they're all parts of the chord that you're basically playing with. The power chord. So you could play. Then as you practice that blues scale, remember these notes are bendable. Where your blues box is, where your pinky is down here, your note on your E string, your B string, and your G string are all bendable. Just bend the hell out of them. So So all three of those notes are bendable. Okay. In your Albert King box, your bottom notes are bendable as well. Right? Okay, so anything on the bottom end of either the blues scale or your Albert King box, bend the hell out of them.